Hey guys, Shadowhunt005 here with part 3 of our Eeveelution GX series. So yesterday we looked at the power of the fiery Flareon with its potential high damage output, and today we'll move into the healing waves of the aquatic evolution Vaporeon. So Vaporeon GX is the water evolution of Eevee with 210 HP, just like yesterday's Flareon GX. It has 2 attacks and an ability that we'll have a look at shortly, and a retreat cost of 2. Now, as for weaknesses, we fall into a bit of a mystery, just like we did for the attacks of Flareon. The box's artwork is covering up that part of the card, as you can see. However, just like what I did with Flareon to find out its retreat cost, I looked into the previous Vaporeon cards to see if I could find an answer as to what its weakness will probably be. Unexpectedly, however, I found that the answer wouldn't be as simple as I first expected. The older cards for Vaporeon generally have a weakness to electric type Pokemon, whereas newer versions of Vaporeon seem to have a weakness for grass types. Both make sense, as water type Pokemon have a weakness to both of these, but with this card in particular, we'll have a look at both weakness possibilities. It would make a lot of sense if Pokemon decided to go down the route of making this weak to electric, as with these theme deck styles, it would make more sense to have it weak against electric, what with Jolteon being the other theme, just as Flareon is weak to water, with Vaporeon as a deck. However, as the newer versions of Vaporeon do have this weakness to grass over electric, I must admit I'm a bit on the fence in regard to which weakness is going to be on this Vaporeon. Looking into attacks of this Pokemon though, we find more interesting characteristics about this evolution. For starters, it only has one offensive attack, Hydro Pump. However, unlike Flareon's and Jolteon's attacks, this one does not require any water energy, so the energy of its type, for the attack to work. It does require 3 energies. Any energy is accepted. What Hydro Pump does, it does 40 damage, but if you have the water energy on this card, which as it's a water type, why wouldn't you have played at least one, then you'll be doing an additional 30 damage for each water energy attached. So the easiest and fastest way to pull off this attack would be to stick down a double colorless energy and a water energy for a cheeky 70 damage. And as I said, for each water energy you attach onto it, you'll be doing an extra 30 damage, so up to 130 in total. That is, if you wanted the most cost effective, where you don't want to go over the 3 energy limit. Now, the 70 damage might not seem a lot in comparison to Flareon's 190 damage that we looked at yesterday, but it is faster to pull off and doesn't require you to discard any of the energies that you've attached onto it, and can be made stronger with each water energy, as I keep saying. But as I said, this is the only offensive attack that Vaporeon has, and as I said, lower damage than Flareon's and Jolteon's, as we'll see tomorrow. Now, as for the ability and the GX attack, both of these have a healing property to them, which kind of follows along the lines of what Eevee GX's reviving DNA does, in the fact that when you evolve Eevee GX using that ability, you basically heal up the Pokemon completely to full health. Looking at the ability first, the ability is called Vapor Drops apparently, and states, once during your turn, before you attack, you may heal 30 damage from your active water type Pokemon. Now I have to stress it does say water type Pokemon. It's pretty good for a passive ability, even if it is the equivalent of a 1 potion for every Vaporeon on the field. Healing 30 damage from your Pokemon, or healing 30 per Vaporeon from your Pokemon, is quite good. Its GX attack, as I said, it's also a healing one, But this one costs 1 water energy, and it's called Healing Shower GX. If you use this attack, you heal all damage from each of your water Pokemon in play. As I said, for the cost of 1 water energy, but you can only use it once in a game. Now, initially, both the ability and the GX attacks seem to be really good, provided you are running a pure water deck. As it says in both of these, it only affects water-type Pokemon, but they lack the ability to stop special conditions, which I must admit is a bit disappointing in my opinion. Generally speaking, okay, maybe not the ability, it's a healing ability. Again, that's limited to water types only, but you would expect the GX to at least remove the special condition on the active Pokemon as well as healing all of it. But, you know, that's just my general opinion. Now, Vaporeon is my favourite of the 3 original evolutions, but keeping that bias out of this, I have to admit this card is not as powerful as the other 2 brothers, and therefore it's got to be said it's more of a support evolution rather than an offensive evolution. However, there is still one redeeming quality unique to Vaporeon, and that's down to its typing of water. You see, there is actually another Eeveelution GX currently in Standard that's not only the same typing, but actually, in my opinion, complements it quite well, and that's Glaceon GX. Although it's got a lower HP, being only 200 in comparison to 210, and the attack only does 90 damage, whereas, as I said before, Hydro Pump can do up to 130 damage. Glaceon's attack does do another 30 damage to the opponent's bench, therefore you're sniping at the back as well, so it could make up for the fact that Vaporeon is not very offensive. On top of that, you're healing Glaceon every turn as well. Minimum 30, maximum 120. It's also got a weakness to Steel type rather than Electric, so it can go toe-to-toe with Jolteon. And these 2 Pokemon working in tandem could make quite a reckoning force. But that's it for today's video. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Do you guys think the weakness will be electric and therefore be at risk from Jolteon, or do you think it'll be grass? And what do you think about my Glaceon Vaporeon idea? Don't forget to check out our final video of this series tomorrow, where we'll be exploring the Jolteon GX. Until then, see you guys.